I've been having a lot of conversations with my coaching clients about how to make a great listing video so that we can promote it, we can attract new clients, and that it's actually just useful. So let's dive into, I've got multiple different strategies on ways that we can actually maximize the opportunity for this new listing. So let's start at the beginning here. Number one is real estate is what? When you hear the common phrase, real estate is all about, everyone would say location, location, location. So we all know that. So when you, top pro real estate agents, and also all of the consumers out there, when we look at a new listing and you see the photos, you see the price point, you see the bedrooms, baths, square feet, what's the first thing that you do? You go straight over to the map and we all look at the location. Why do we as professional real estate agents do that? It's because the location of this property inside of that community, inside of this greater, broader context is what gives us the context for the property, the bedrooms, the baths, the square feet, the finishes, and the price point. See, major point number one is our listing videos are just featuring the property, but the average consumer is really trying to get better context for the location, the community. And that, my friends, is step one. So let me give you a quick hack in this. So the next time that you book your photographer to come out and take photos of the house, ask them to get you some B-roll of the community. So hey, if there was a community sign, take a photo of that. If there's a great park, go get a photo of that. If there is a killer shopping center or there's some lifestyle stuff, give them a list of 4 or 5 shots that or 10 shots that you want them to take and have them go shoot those. So I know here in San Diego, I've done that numerous times with some of the photographers because these were some features that I would want. These are some really important features to the value of the listing that I was going to present. So hugely valuable. Now, hack number 2 is why don't you meet the photographer at the beginning of the community, and why don't you actually present the pros and cons and or the best things about living in community name X, right? Now, if the broader context of maybe the zip code is important for you to address that, let's get that done. And could we get your photographer to shoot a nice, quick, professional video where you discuss the broader zip code or the city name? And then we get a second one about community or neighborhood name. And then now we have the property. See, this would be us maximizing, A, we're spending the money on the photographer anyways. B, most of you are doing a listing video. Now we're adding in way more content that's usable into the future. But let's wrap this up for a second on the topic. I love, let's say, the New York $1 million listing. Okay, that's the $1 million listing show I enjoyed watching because I like checking out New York listings and the guys are all great and wild. Okay, but if you think about how they presented the listing, it was very simple. You would see them, they're like, hey, I'm going on listing appointment X, right? And I'm going to go talk to seller X. And then they would jump in the car, and then the very first thing that they would do is they go, hey, today I'm going into Chelsea, right? Chelsea was the broader neighborhood. And then they'd start talking about Chelsea. Here's what's going down in Chelsea. Here's why it's so hot. Here's what, all the celebrities that are moving there. Here's how Chelsea fits into the context of Manhattan. So they'd give you a little debrief about Chelsea. And as the consumer of the content, you're like, oh, cool. Yeah, great. I can't wait. Then they'd go deeper and they'd go, all right, now this property is on blank street. Now, blank street is the hip hopping streets with all the rad, the latest, coolest restaurants and the coolest bars. And this is where all the hipsters are all hanging out. And so then they'd go into the street. And then they would then go into the building on the street. All right, well, and the building that we're going to today is, and the builder was, and the architect, and this is, and the history of that is, and da 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 da. And then they take you into the building, and then it was the listing. It was the property. See, that was where I was like, that's what we need to be doing. Because remember, the consumer is the value of your property. The context is usually location. Then it's the feature and benefits of the property, the floor plan, the finishes. See, this is why we need to dramatically up our game with our listing videos. And we can get a triple bang for our buck, because now if I can get you to get an evergreen video about Chelsea, and then I can get you to get an evergreen video about that niche street neighborhood. And maybe I can get you to get an evergreen video about the building, right? The community. See, those 3 videos have huge value into the future. And if we can get your photographer to get you some B-roll, some photos, and maybe get you on camera so it makes your life easy. Wait, don't you have to be able to talk about each one of those things anyways as the listing agent? Right? Don't you need to actually go in and read and figure out and learn a little bit about those things before you go present this listing to the world? Yes. So now go present it. Now, here's the value of this. See, on a listing presentation, this is a point of differentiation, okay? Because most agents right now just present the listing, the property. And right now in 2021, we have so much relocation going on all across the country. So if you're like me in San Diego, I've got people coming down from the Bay Area, from Orange County, from LA. I mean, they're just coming down, and they're coming down to North County. I live in Solana Beach. Everybody's coming here because they're getting out of the big city, coming down to beautiful San Diego. Relocation is off the charts right now. So for all my coaching clients across the US, you guys have tons of people moving in. So this content is insanely valuable to the perfect customer. We actually need to provide this, context, community, city, neighborhood information to our buyers who want to buy in these communities for the first time. And so I remember being on a listing presentation, and I was with Kai and Carly, and this was it's like a $2.3 million house, 7,000 square foot house in Poway. And we had been working with our great friend Ty Hines of SD Luxury Listing. Make sure you check out his channel. I'll put a link down to it. And he was killing it, because what he would do is he would take us up into the helicopter. We would fly over the community. He would get recording of us talking about Poway. Then Ty's a great producer, so he would go with his team and go get a bunch of great B-roll of Poway and all the lifestyle in Poway. And then we would then do a presentation of the house. And then what Ty would do is then he would create a 7-minute video that he aired on TV right before NFL football, and he would feature 3 properties on Sunday before before football. And what he would do is he would give this whole presentation about living in Poway, lifestyle in Poway, overview, flying in the helicopter, and then boom, we'd come into the property and he'd do this killer production about the property. And so when I was talking to this couple in Poway, I said something kind of clever. I said, hey guys, here's the thing. we want to do this style video for you, because we had done one in Rancho Santa Fe. And so I said, we want to do a video like this, and here's why. And I said, because A, we have a great relationship with all the top luxury Poway agents here locally, and all of them would understand and know the value of your little niche community, this little gated community in Poway. I said, but what I'm noticing is all of the buyers who are going to buy $2 to $3 million properties in Poway, they're not really in Poway. They're actually all from, Orange County, LA, and the Bay Area. And I said to them, so we need to create a presentation that explains the value of Poway in the community and explains the value of your property. And both of one of the wife was a senior executive of a major firm. The husband was an attorney, and they both went like this. That makes perfect sense. And we got the listing right there against massive competition. We were not the big luxury listing agents. We were successful listing agents, but we outbeat some of the biggest players because I actually presented something that made a lot of sense. And oh, by the way, guess who bought the house? Someone from San Francisco. Because when they looked at a 7,000 square foot, 2-acre house in one of the best school districts in this weird town called Poway in San Diego for 2-3, they were like, no brainer. But if they didn't get a sense of what Poway was, they would never have really understood the value. See, it was so useful. Okay, so this model worked. I did this again in Del Mar. We had not listed a property in Del Mar, one of the most exclusive, expensive communities in San Diego on the beach. And I used that video example as part of the play to get the listing. And it totally worked. We outgot one of the big listing agents here in Del Mar on the coast. And the video was amazing. We hired Ty, we flew over, we talked about the amazing lifestyle of Del Mar. We flew over the house, then we came down and talked about the architect and the story of the property, and we showcased the views and the lifestyle. And just like I told the family that was selling the house, I told them the same story. And oh, guess who bought the house? A successful guy from Seattle, right? So did the video actually help sell the property? The answer was yes, because we're showcasing what the location is all about, what the lifestyle is all about, and bringing it down to the property. So I know for some of you, you love this. For some of you, this is like outside of your comfort zone, and that's okay, right? Let's get you past the discomfort of talking about the community, the pros, the cons, the lifestyle qualities of the community in front of the camera. Let's get you past that, right? This is a great opportunity for you to stretch yourself. Now, I was talking to one of my this weekend, I was talking to a good friend of mine at Chapman University. I have a friend who was in the film school who's now becoming really a very successful editor in Hollywood. And I was kind of telling him about some of these kind of community videos. And he was like, look, man, he basically gave me some advice. He says, look, no, we don't need it to be you doing a talking head the entire time. Why don't you just audio record, really talking about the community and lifestyle, maybe do a little intro and then do an outro. And then the rest is just B-roll, just photos and videos and community. And it's just a voiceover. And I was like, oh, that would take a lot of pressure off us to be able to try and be so razzle-dazzle cool in front of the camera. So there is a few things here. That's why I like, if you got your photographer, if they got enough B-roll where they did some drive-through, they did some video, they did some stills, then you could just do the intro and the exit and you can do the audio, and they can just layer all that B-roll over on exactly what you're talking about. So it doesn't have to be you in front of the camera being a professional presenter. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. Let's work on our listing videos. Let's create way more content for our YouTube channels, our social media, evergreen content. Let's build the biggest and the best, B-roll libraries. We're paying these photographers anyways. Let's capture way more content from them and really create some value here. Hope this was helpful. Guys, let's go get more listings. Let's get on this right away. If you're not watching a bunch of my other videos on how to get listings, I'm going to put a link to the playlist right here. I want you to take a look at the playlist and take a look at all the different videos and figure out which one is the next video that you need to watch to go get more listings. All right, have an awesome day.